Richard Walsh is a 30-year business owning veteran. He's the best-selling author of Escape the Owner Prison, which is the contractor's new way to scale and regain control and then fast-track growth while loving their life. And who doesn't want to love your life? Richard is a speaker, and he's a business coach for the trades and service industries. He's got a podcast, the Escape the Owner Prison podcast. He is the creator of the Escape the Owner Prison Academy, a husband, a father of 6, a business turnaround expert. Richard is a professional obstacle overcomer. And so let's give Richard a big, warm AGC welcome.
Again, Richard Walsh, Escape the Owner Prison. That's my best-selling book. Let me give you a little background here, kind of know where I'm coming from. Again, been in business for 30 years. My first business of almost 20 years was I did custom water features. I'm an artist. I'm a steel sculptor, internationally recognized. Really built that, was the premier in my industry, #1 in the nation. Really had a fantastic business. Cruising along, things were good. Things were really, really good. Got married. That was great. All of a sudden, I had 6 kids in 3 years, so we had kind of like a big influx, let's say, in the personnel in the home on the home payroll. But so that was all great. Things were going great. Then 08, 09 hit, the big crash, and my business evaporated basically overnight. All right. So in the usual thing, if you've ever thought, you've probably seen this before. You've seen a business that you think is, you see them a lot. They're great. They're there. Maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's longer. Then all of a sudden they're gone. Okay. And you wonder, wow, that's odd. How could someone be in business so long and just be gone? Did they retire? Did something take them out? In my case, yeah, the economy was a big thing, right? I'm a luxury item. I built, water features for people, art, things like that. When the big constriction came in 08, 09, people didn't need what I had, right? So there was a part of me that's like, wow, I can't believe this, and another part of me is like, well, I've built over 1,000 of these things, and I'm great at this, and maybe this isn't what I really want to do after all. But there's a struggle, right? Because my whole identity was in that water feature business, in what I did, which is a common thing for entrepreneurs. Really get caught up in what we do. We are who we are, what we do. So I had the struggle there, like, what am I actually going to do with all this? And it came down to really one day, I had the big epiphany. I was thinking about my kids, right? And they're all little. They're all 4 years and younger, okay, at the time when this is happening. So it was pretty nutty. But I started laying in bed one morning, and I'm thinking, wow, all this stuff's kind of collapsing around me. And I realized that, my kids, they like cry when I leave, and they attack me when I come home. And for me, I'm like, I realized that they don't care what I drive. They don't care what I do. They don't care where we live. All they cared was about being with me, right? My wife and our family and stuff like that. I said, so is the business that critical if this thing actually goes under completely? So I really get that thought. We lived through part of 09. And then I realized, just with that epiphany, I'm like, I'm done with this, right? So I'm finished. So I had the same crew for over 10 years, the same crew. They were awesome guys. They had a great, thriving business. But here's the thing. I still was doing everything in this business, right? This is the difficulty. I didn't realize at the time, because I thought, who can do it better than me, right? I'm a guy who can work. I'm a guy who can market. I can do this. I can do that. Yeah, I had an office manager. I had crews, things like that. But if I didn't kind of turn the key in the morning, the business didn't start. Right. So needless to say, nothing was coming in. So everything's going out. So things ended. Right. And I lost everything. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm on top. I went from thinking I'm great doing all this stuff to having nothing, losing the house. Let's pack the family up. We got to leave. Right. And change states, do all that stuff. And all this is being said to kind of understand where I came from. And this was 11 years ago, 11, 12 years ago. And then I had to figure out what I was going to do. Right. So I got nothing but a family. And we got to turn this around. So how am I going to do this? I'm an entrepreneur at heart, right? I do not work well for others like a lot of entrepreneurs. Okay, I do for a short period of time, right? But then, of course, I see better ways to do things, and I want to do it this way and that way, and that doesn't always bode well with the other business owners. So I took that from there and said, okay, I got to figure this out. First I had to look back, because I had a little bit of time here as I was working, getting things going. I'm selling equipment because I owned everything, and I started to realize what I really did in the past. what led up to this? How could I work for 20 years and have everything be gone? All right, this is something I want you to think about when you think about your own business too. It was a lot of little things that added up to one big thing, right? It was ignoring a lot of little signals and a lot of little things I was supposed to do and not doing them that ended up culminating when things got constricted, right? When things got tight, when the big recession hit. And they always do, right? I've been around long enough where I've seen multiples, and we had to be prepared for these, right? Well, I wasn't. Okay, so it does take you out. So I had that. I started looking at all that and thinking, okay, well, I did this wrong and this wrong. I'm not going to get into all the details, but it was everything from taxes to marketing, advertising, how much I was paying people, a lot of little different things that all added up into the big demise, right? So I started to rebuild, rethink, document this stuff because I'm a bit of a writer. I like to write and everything else. So I said, I'll document this stuff and really look at this. And when I see it in black and white, and I'm able to label my mistakes. Here's my little failures. Here's my mistakes. Here's my distractions I had in business. Here's my things I ignored, right? That people told me I should do. And on that same point, another thing that I ignored was great advice from great people. All right. So one of the biggest things I always talk about is, especially today, this is different than '09, today more than ever. There's so much help out there. This AGC thing is one, right? You can get information, you can get coaching, you can get help in any industry for anything you want, literally at a click of a button, right? Well, we really didn't have that much access to it. I had real people who were talking to me. I mean, I had billionaire clients who were happy to talk to me and share with me, but my own head was like, I'm doing this on my own. I'm a Marine. I can get this done. I'm going to knock this out. So I'm going to take all this through. And I'm ignoring these people who have been way further than I'm ever going to get, right? They've done more than I ever could do. And I didn't want to listen to them because, my ego was totally in the way. So that was a big, another epiphany. Like, you got an ego, you got pride that needs to get put in the closet somewhere, right? Because you can't move. What's the great saying? The great saying is, alone you can move faster, but together you can move further, right? So you always want to think about that. So a big point to what I learned was I really need to start listening to people who have been where I want to go, right? So that was a key to doing that. So I started the next business. I opened a gym. I love working out and stuff like that. So I opened a really cool gym and started doing that. I opened a construction company. Started doing a roofing business. So I got a couple things going. Those are going. And I started to apply what I learned from my failures into the new businesses. Okay, we're not going to do this, not going to do that. You might not always know what you have to do, but when you know what you don't want to do, that's incredible. All right, so you learn from these mistakes. And for me, that was really, really powerful to kind of launch my new businesses. And at the same time, when we talk about escaping the owner prison, what I realized was I do not want to be the only guy that this business runs on. It can't be me. I can't work 16 hours a day for the rest of my life. I'm raising the family. We homeschool them. I want to teach them. I want to be there. I want to be part of their life. I didn't want them to grow up knowing that business is all that matters and to put that first above anything and everything, right? So that for me, that was a big thing to realize. That's a big mistake, because for me, what I was going to do was then plant those seeds in my kid's head, and for the next generation, they're going to do that, right? They're going to be business at all costs, got to be successful. Everything else is second, and that's a huge mistake, right? So I didn't want to perpetuate that either. So this enabled me to really create a business where I learned how to delegate. I learned how to source out, right? I started with virtual assistants. I started to learn the stuff that's out there that can make a business, even without a lot of money, that you can start to scale and grow. So I learned the whole scaling method and how to put these things in place to prepare myself to basically be what we call a CEOpreneur, right? Like you got your wantrepreneur, the guy who wants to start a business. You got your entrepreneur, the guy who's in it. Then you got the guy who built a business, can walk away, come back in a year, it's more profitable, right? That's what you want to do. You have to delegate all the tasks. You got the right people, the right systems, right processes, everything in place, right? And we hear a lot about that stuff in the entrepreneurial circles, people talking about it, but it's the application of those and understanding the steps that it takes to make that actually happen that's so powerful, right? And when you start to do that, you start to get this freedom that you all went into business for, right? I think a lot of us go into business because we want to make our own schedule, we want to make our own decisions, we want to be in control of our life. Yet the business ends up owning us, right? It's back to us. It's us doing it. If I don't do this, if I don't submit the marketing, if I don't get to this meeting, if I don't unlock the door, if I'm not doing this, if I'm not doing the purchasing, if I'm not looking at the inventory, that kind of stuff, then we're just buried in that. And that becomes life. And next, 1 year, you think you're going to do it just in the beginning, right? Because, hey, and then I'll do that, but you don't, because you get in the cycle. Next thing, 5 years goes by, 10 years, 15 years. And we've seen this with a lot of people. If you think about a lot of business owners, they're in that cycle. I see it all the time, especially in the contracting industry. People are in that circle. They're still delivering their own materials to the guys on the job site. And it's been 10 years. And it's part of what they do, thinking they're saving money. When you literally have the highest paid employee, or should be, which isn't always the case, delivering materials to a job site that you literally can make a phone call and they can be delivered through the company, your vendors, right? So I just want to encourage people that there is a great way to scale and build your business to give you true freedom to do what you want when you want, right? Because that's what we want. We want to be able to delegate. I want to know that business is running. If I take a week off, if I miss a day, 3 days, something's going on, I'd never miss one of my kids' games, right? Whether I got a track runner, I got a volleyball players, I got gymnasts in my family. Okay, I got musicians. I mean, all my kids they're all teenagers now. So I got 6 teenagers in the house. So you can only imagine what that's like now, right? So, but I want to be part of all that. So there's a lot of shuffling there, and I can't have a business that has to have me every moment. Yes, we have phones, we can stay in contact and things like that, but I want to encourage everyone to learn how to build a business that serves you instead of you serving it. That really is the key. That's something that you want to think about, and just give it thought, what do I really want to see as I look down the road? I'm going to build a business. I want to have this great business. What does that really look like, in my life? Does that mean when I get a call from my wife or my husband, can I just go? She needs me for something. So, okay, I'll be there in 20 minutes. You might be working and everything else, but you had that freedom. Or hey, we're going to take a 3-week vacation. I'm we're going to do a road trip. We did a 40-day road trip once. It was unbelievable. I was never even a vacation guy, right? I just worked all the time, but it was amazing. 6 kids, my wife and I, Route 66, the whole 40-day road trip, right? You never know the experiences you can have, because it's great to work and build a business. I love working. I love to work. But you've got to balance it out with that ability to live life, create memories, right? Especially when you have a family. You want to be able to build something that you can share, right? Because sharing isn't I get to hand my business down to my children. Sharing is the ability to go do other things with your family, to create new memories, new experiences with those you love. That's what it's about. It gives you an ability to give back, right? It gives you the ability to help your community, to do charitable work. Right, we all want to do that, right? You might have employees that have great charitable stuff they do, right? You can help them. So I wanted to build something that gave back, right? That's the whole thing. I didn't want to just be about me and me making money and me getting popularity and me being published in this article and that article and being this, whatever, all the accolades and everything else. It became so much less about me and about creating something that would empower others. I mean, everyone who worked for me, I wanted them to go somewhere. I didn't want them to come and punch in and then punch out and think, I got to come back tomorrow. Oh, finally the weekend's here and they get 2 days off. I wanted to create excitement in my employees about helping me grow a business, having being part of it. So just another word of encouragement there for that is really to understand that when you've got a team who's working for you as you grow your business, they need to be part of it. They got to understand the full mission. They need to understand the vision of your company, right? So they can be a part of it. People want to help. They're not driven just by money, okay? It's not, I want to make $2 more an hour. I want to make X amount of dollars per year. That's an element, but that's not what really gets them up in the morning. That's not what makes them excited about their job. They want to know they're contributing to make a difference. Right, and no matter what your product or service is, they want to make a difference in that, And as you scale your business, this is the beauty of it, right? Yes, you scale, you make more money, you can help more people. That's my thing, being able to help more people because you've now built something. You've got the margin in your life, you've got the time to do that, right? So I want you to be encouraged with that. If you're in business, there's great things for you to do. There's great calls in your life. There's great things that you can do more than just the bottom line, more than just making more profit. Right? I mean, that's good. You want to generate revenue. That's important. Okay. I totally believe in it. I'm all about real profit. All right. But it's what you do with that. How do you breathe life into others? How do you motivate your employees to really have a sense of fulfillment from working with you? right? And there's so much more I go into on that, but I just want you to understand that in business, it's one of the most incredible economic engines in the world, right? So it gives you an ability to you can up the horsepower in that engine, you can tone it down a bit, that's under your control. But when you want to achieve other great things outside that business, that's your vehicle. But you can't do it if you're trapped inside that business, right? If you're in there every day and it doesn't run without you, you're not going to have the time to think about those outside interests. You're not going to have the economy to do it, right? You're not going to have the finances to do it because you're only one person. You got to learn how to leverage that. So I think from that standpoint, I hope that's real clear for you, okay? And that's what Escape the Owner Prison is about, is learning how to scale, regain control, meaning control your life, all right? Fast track your growth. Again, it's not putting the brakes on your growth. It's about actually fast tracking your growth because you're going to grow faster with better people. And believe me, there's a lot better people out there doing things than you can do, okay? I guarantee most entrepreneurs are not great accountants. Okay, we're not great admin people. Okay, we're visionaries. We're drivers. Right, we get things done. We may have a few skills here, but man, there's a lot of people who love to do it and do it way better than we do. Those are the people you want in your team. To give you person to create systems, create processes, and help you enable that fast track of growth and scale that's controllable and beneficial to everybody.